Okay, so the end of episode 10, they were doing their dress fittings, and KB was talking about the girls were all talking about Nick and Annie's breakup. Madison's mom, which I feel like I might have been calling her Megan, Madison Megan, but anyway, Madison's mom. This was really awkward because they were talking about the guys, and she was talking about how Joe is just great, how she loves him, and how she has a really good ick barometer, and there's no ick with him. Now I'm thinking, just watching him, you can you could tell he was nervous and had reservations. So I don't her girl, and I think that's where Megan gets it from. There, or not Megan, see, Madison gets it from, because it's bordering on like a little delusion. Because I don't know what. I mean, I'm sure Joe is whispering sweet nothings to Madison, but at some point you have to be able to see through some of it, and her mom is not able to, or her sister. Well, during the guys' tux fitting, they were Nick Lachey was asking them questions, and Joe was just so awkward, and he was just like, sometimes y- she's a lot, and you know and then, or he said there were difficult times, and Nick Lachey was like, well, what are the difficult times? And then he was on the spot, he didn't know what to say. Just He just screams, this isn't going to happen. There he is again. So Joe just freaked out and left. He was like, I can't do this right now. And he just left. He was super anxious, and walked out of the fitting, left his friends and everything. Now, I find this funny because when Nick Lachey and Vanessa, when they each were talking to the singles, or not singles, but the couples separately, and they were saying this is a lifelong commitment. They were both kind of saying the same thing. And this is what the guy, this is the faces of the guys when they were saying this, this is it, this is going to happen. Mm, they all look, I mean, he doesn't look too bad. Edmund, he's going to say yes at the altar. Now, all the girls, when they asked them, or when Vanessa was saying, this is, you're going to get married, this is your wedding day, they're all super happy. I don't know why KB's smiling though. Girl. This was funny when KB was trying on her dress. Madison was just, the girl's just a crier. She was looking at KB. Before Joe left, when he was trying on his tux, and the poor lady that was helping him was asking him about a tie, and he didn't really want to be bothered. He said he could tie it. He didn't know if he could tie it. She said, I can tie it for you. He's like, I can tie it. It was so much. And he's gone. So the next morning, this is Madison, and she's on the phone saying Joe left. She was talking to somebody in her family. She sat down and talked to him, and she was asking him why. And to me, I figured, why ask why? He told her it's not her. He told her it's not her. She's not the one. At that point, I'd be like, oh, bye. But she wanted to know why. And at the time, and then she made a comment, and she said, I find it, he couldn't give her an answer. But then she said, I find it funny that we met up with the singles, and all of a sudden things have changed for you. So I figured, I knew it wasn't that last meetup with everyone else. So I figured they had went somewhere and the singles were there. Well, she did a podcast, and she said that, or that they were, some singles showed up, and Casey, crazy Casey, that didn't like Patrick because he was Asian, she was there, and she was all over him. So that's why she was asking, what was it? Is it her? Is it her? I still wouldn't want to know. I'd be like, okay, fine, whatever. I wouldn't be asking him nothing. And he was so done. Just look, he didn't want to talk anymore. He didn't care. She was breaking down, and I knew she was going to say this to him. I could just tell because she was crying, and he was just sitting there awkwardly, and she was looking at him while she was crying, and I'm like, she wants him to hug her or something. And she said to him, look, she does this all the time. She points out the obvious to him. She said, I'm sitting here crying, and you're not saying anything. You're not hugging me, you're not holding me. He said, well, I can hug you. And she was like, forget it. Yeah, like that bugged me about her. Like anytime she was crying, it was obvious you were, and you wanted something from him he wasn't giving you. Those are signs that it's he's not the one for you. And again, why would you want to point out you were crying to someone who you're trying? I don't. These were the faces he was giving her. He would have had one of those to give to me, and I would have been done. Here he said he was relieved, and it showed. He grabbed his suitcase so fast. And then she starts talking to him and she says, I just, I'm happy to have had this experience with you. And he was trying to show her it was he didn't want to be there anymore. And this is the best he could do was put his hand on her shoulder. He gave her a hug finally. Look at his face. It was the goodbye for me. That's what he gave her. KB and Edmund, they went on a snowmobile ride up a mountain. She went to get hot chocolate, and when she came back and she brought him hot chocolate, and she was getting ready to sit down, and he didn't help her down because there was like a step down, and she was like, "Thanks for helping me down." I'm like, "Uh oh, what's happening?" Apparently, when they were in the car, they got into another argument, and Edmund dismissed her, and he couldn't figure out what he didn't think anything was wrong, and she said he's fake when the cameras are on. He acts like everything's all good, even though they just had an argument. This got pretty heated, and he kept cutting her off, and he told her, "I'm not going to apologize if I don't think I did anything wrong." And he told her, he said, if I did something wrong and you were that mad, you wouldn't have gotten on the snowmobile with me, which goes back to the last time they had an argument. And she said, "I'm not mad at you. You should have known I wasn't mad at you because I held your hand when we walked into the restaurant." So I think he was like going off of that. Oh, but let me go back to Joe for a second. I forgot something. She said to him, Madison said, "Do you think we would date outside of this experiment? Because I think you're just getting hung up on the wedding part. Do you just want to date?" I'm telling you, these girls are trying too hard for these men. But anyway, he said, "I think we made it further because of, basically because of the show. And we all know why. The minute he saw her, even though there was nothing wrong with her, the minute he saw her, he wasn't attracted to her. He was weird. He was weird then. But anyway, I just want to get that out. So while he was talking to her and he was like, "I can't ever get my feelings out because your feelings are everything." Um, you know, Edmund's his mentality, like I hate like that, and I hate that in a person because both of their feelings are valid, but you have to recognize, I think Edmund, it's that it's him feeling like he's not being, I don't know, liked or listened to, or I don't know, like just that being all about him and her feelings don't matter. It's all about his feelings. Because making that statement, "I can't say anything because your feelings are everything. My feelings," like she was trying to explain to him what the problem was, but yet it's like he crawls into this little shell and it's like, "Oh, you're being mean to me and you don't want to listen to my feelings." When she's telling, he won't. I get why she's saying he's not accountable. I feel like, hey, I sound like her. Look, anyway, they argue some. But this, she has got to be tired of having this conversation, and she told him she was tired of this. Like she's tired. And my thing is, yeah, this is a lot. This is a sign. I mean, I know you're on a show, but girl, if you're tired and you're crying, this early in the relationship should not look like this. Y'all, she really snapped. See, she's holding back. When people hold back too much, they go off. And she said, "You're not listening to me. You keep cutting me off." And she called him a bitch. And that's the look on his face when she called him that. And he looked like he was crushed. And I think after she said it, I think she felt that way, but I feel like she immediately regretted saying it because that was kind of the look on her face. Well, that was the look on her face. I don't know. They met up. Anton and Allie met with Allie's mom, or Anton showed up while they were there, and her mom was talking about the women's roles, and I don't know. I didn't really care for what her mother was saying, but anyway, it was a little 1950s for me. These two went hat shopping or something. And they talked about her going house shopping, and she was saying how she's into numerology and something about the number on your house and add it up and whatever it means, this or that or wealth or whatever, family. And he looked at her funny. She's like, "You think I'm weird, don't you?" And he was like, "Kind of." But also, she touched on, because she touched on him being quiet, because she said something about the numbers of a certain number means like the home that everybody goes to or the life of the party or something like that. And then they touched on him being quiet, which was, I think, the first time they kind of did that. Come back for part 3.